the people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. Therefore, if you are offering your gift at the altar and there remember that your brother has something against you, leave your gift there in front of the altar first and go be reconciled to your brother, and then come offer your gift. Matthew 5:23-24. So we have to understand God holds us the high esteem to our relationships. If our relationships is right with God, He wants us to get our relationships right with others. And if we're not, He's saying, go make it right before you even come to church, because you're coming to church with the wrong heart. That's exactly what He's saying. So we can't skip this step. This is one of the most important steps for us to grow and to change, to make amends to people. I want us to turn to Genesis chapter 33.
49.
We're going to talk about the account with Jacob and Esau. Hold your finger there. I want to share something on step 9 now. It's so important. This step is awesome. Believe me, it'll set you free. A lot of us have a lot of bitterness in our hearts. Got to get rid of it. All right, listen up. Hold your finger there. In step 9, we put into practice the principles of the first 8 steps. Powerlessness, restoration to sanity, surrender, inventory of wrongs, willingness, and seeking help. To all this we add making amends. The word amend means to change. It's not an apology step of groveling self-humiliation. Instead, it is admitting to the people we have wronged that we know and understand the pain that we have caused, and that we are committed to changing our behavior so that we will avoid causing any more pain. Can I get an amen here? Amen. This step is about direct amends wherever possible, so we will go to these people personally or write them a letter. When we are face to face with these people, we need to have the previous steps, principles at work in us to be able to accomplish our goal. So why would we put ourselves at such risk of exposure and shame? Step 9 offers us the opportunity to become free from the past. We can heal our relationships with others, with God, and with ourselves. In Genesis 33, 1-11, we see this step in action as Jacob offered financial amends to his brother Esau by sending flocks of livestock before they met face to face. He was totally fearful of Esau's reaction to seeing him again after all the deception and thievery Jacob had practiced at Esau's expense. If we know the account, right, what he did. Stole his birthright, stole his blessing, stole it all. He was a scoundrel. Now, Jacob had to experience being deceived himself before he gained enough humility to recognize his fault. Remember his uncle Laban did the same thing to him. He got a taste of his own medicine so we could see how much pain he caused his brother. See, God knows how to do this. The positive healing outcome of this relationship was years in the making. In the same way, we have been through the pain of our addiction and our sin nature, and now we are on a path of recovery that takes time. We must be willing to accept whatever response we are given. We must be willing to repair and resolve whatever has broken down in the relationship, even if the other rejects our offer to do so. As with Jacob, our willingness to go the extra mile is part of the spirit of step 9. The gifts Jacob sent to Esau were part of making restitution for the injury he had done, an expression of humility for his wrongs. Amen. So he didn't just want to make it right. He actually he made restitution for it too. So not only do we got to make an amend, but if we hurt somebody, to go an extra length and actually do something, even go beyond it and make restitution for it. That's even stronger and even more powerful to show that we have changed. Remember, we read the account of, what's his name, Zacchaeus. He said, if I stole anything, if I took anything, I'll give him 4 times back the amount. Because his heart was changed. When your heart is changed, You want to make things right with these people that you hurt. Now, it has nothing to do if they hurt you back. Now, if they hurt you, we're not trying to clean their side. We're trying to clean our side. The response from them has nothing to do with us making the amend. They might not accept it. But the thing of it is a changed heart. Your heart is changed and you want to make things right with these people. If your heart is not changed, don't do this step. This is not a mechanical step. This is a changed life step. If Jesus has changed your life, this isn't a mechanical thing. You want to do this. You do not have to do this. Can I get an amen here? This is a different person. You are a new creature. When we get born again, we are a new creation. And he works from step 1 to step 9 to get us to that point. Amen? All right, let's read the account. Long-awaited healing, step 9. We made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. Returning to someone we have hurt is a scary thing. The passing years, lack of communication, and memories of anger and hateful emotional exchanges can all create tremendous anxiety. Even though we may make some contact through a third party, there will still be tension until we see that person face to face. This was the case for Jacob upon returning to see Esau. Then Jacob looked up and saw Esau coming with his 400 men. Then Jacob went on ahead. Esau ran to meet him and embraced him, threw his arms around his neck and kissed him, and they both wept. Genesis 33:1, 3, and 4. After being introduced to Jacob's family, Esau asked, "And what were all the flocks and herds I met as I came?" Jacob replied, "They are a gift, my lord, to ensure your friendship." But Jacob insisted, "No, if I have found favor with you, please accept this gift from me. And what a relief to see your friendly smile. It is like seeing the face of God. Please take this gift I have brought to you, for God has been very gracious to me. I have more than enough." And because Jacob insisted, Esau finally accepted the gift. 33:8-11. Jacob's tremendous fear gave way to relief. The last time Jacob had seen Esau, Jacob was in fear for his life. With the passing of time, both of them had changed. When Jacob faced his brother, he found there was still affection, even though they both remembered the pain. How about a big amen? You don't hear that saying, time heals all wounds. So Jacob had to go through all kinds of baloney before he was ready to make that amend to his brother. And he was scared because he didn't know what his reaction with Esau was going to be. But Esau was right too. So they smiled and they made amends. It's a scary thing because we don't know the people that we harm, what their response is going to be. That's why Jesus has to be in the middle of this amend. Amen. And you have to talk to people that have been on this journey already to make sure it's the proper time and the right thing to do. Because sometimes if we hurt somebody really bad, they might not really want the amend. You might want to make it, but they may not be ready for it. So you got to be careful here. You know, it's even if we an amend could be, you know, if you rob somebody, or it could be something financially. It could be a lot of different things, not necessarily just people. You could have burnt an institution. You could have went bankrupt. You could have did something like that. That has to be. You might have cheated on a test in school. There's a lot of different things that we have to make things right about. I get an amen here, and the Lord will bring these things to mind. Believe me, to get rid of the past, we have to face it, deal with it, and then let it go. And it's a very, very important step, and we can't get away without doing it to become complete. Now let's read the account. Genesis 33. Jacob and Esau make peace. Then Jacob looked up and saw Esau coming with his 400 men. So he divided the children among Leah, Rachel, and his 2 servant wives. He put the servant wives and their children at the front, Leah and her children next, and Rachel and Joseph last. Then Jacob went on ahead. As he approached his brother, he bowed to the ground 7 times before him. And then Esau ran to meet him and embraced him, threw his arms around his neck and kissed him, and they both wept. So Jacob really humbled himself there. 7 times he bowed before him. And then Esau looked at the woman and the children and asked, "Who are these people with you?" "These are the children God has graciously given to me, your servant," Jacob replied. Then the servant wives came forward with their children and bowed before him. Next came Leah with her children, and they bowed before him. Finally, Joseph and Rachel came forward and bowed before him. "And what were the flocks and herds I met as I came?" Esau asked. Jacob replied, "They're a gift." He called them my Lord.
Yeah. Why?
Why? Because that's his brother. His brother was supposed to have the birthright.
Yeah, right.
He was supposed to be the first one. The firstborn was always the Lord. So he wanted to give him that respect back. That's what he wanted to do. He gave him his respect back. Because he stole his respect. "These are a gift, my Lord, to ensure your friendship. My brother, I have plenty." Esau answered, "Keep what you have for yourself." But Jacob insisted, "No, if I have found favor with you, please accept this gift from me. And what a relief to see your friendly smile. It is like seeing the face of God." Just imagine how he didn't know when he was coming with all the men, if he was coming to fight them.
Yeah.
So you can imagine the anxiety in Jacob on this one. Yep, and then, "Please take the gift I have brought to you, for God has been very gracious to me, and I have more than enough." And because Jacob insisted, Esau finally accepted the gift. "Well," Esau said, "let's be going. I will lead the way." But Jacob replied, "You can see, my Lord, that some of the children are very young, and the flocks and the herds have their young too. If they are driven too hard, or even one day, all the animals could die. Please, Lord, go ahead of your servant. We will follow slowly at a pace that is comfortable for the livestock and the children. I will meet you at Seir." "All right," Esau said, "but at least let me assign some of my men to guide and protect you." Jacob responded, "That's not necessary. It's enough that you've received me warmly, my Lord." So Esau turned around and started back to Seir that same day. Jacob, on the other hand, traveled on to Succoth. See, he still had a sin nature. See it? He said, "I'm not going with him anyway." All right, I made it right with him. I'm out of here. Yes, he was still a scoundrel, just like us, right? We get saved, we get born again, but we still got a sin nature in us, and boy, can it come out at any given time. The Bible is clear about the human heart. It hasn't changed from then to now. That's funny. Now look what it says. There he built himself a house and made shelters for his livestock. That is why the place was named Succoth, which means shelters. Later, having traveled all the way from Padam Aram, Jacob arrived safely at the town of Shechem in the land of Canaan. There he set up camp outside the town. Jacob bought the plot of land where he camped from the family of Hamor, the father of Shechem, for 100 pieces of silver. And there he built an altar and named it El Oai Israel. Amen. Right? So Jacob made it right with his brother, but Jacob still had a sin nature. You have to understand, you're going to make things right with people, but you still have a sin nature. And it's going to what? Come out again sooner or later. So this is why I do not like to see people in our church judging each other here. Because all of us have a sin nature that can come out at any given time. We're supposed to make allowances for each other's faults because of our love for one another. Because, listen, it's not if, it's when. You can't sit here and tell me that your sin nature doesn't show up in the course of a day. All of us, our sin nature shows up at the course of a day. If it might not be outward, it could be thought, word, or deed.
Yes.
So Jesus takes it back to the thought process. That's why we don't judge people. We love people. Now, if somebody's hurting somebody, that's different. But if somebody's just having a bad day, you give them the opportunity to, pray to the Lord and you say, you know, what would you want them, how would you want them to treat you if you were having a bad day? You want them to judge you and say, you're supposed to be holy in church? You're not doing it right, you're supposed to be like this? And that's one thing I don't want our church to ever become Pharisaical. Because when you have the love of Jesus, you're actually holding up the people that want to hurt you. So that's what it's all about. It's not about judging and trying to one-up on somebody else or thinking that you're better than anyone else. There's no such thing as seniority in God's kingdom. We're all growing at a different rate. We're all here, thank God, just for that we're here. That itself is a victory at times. A lot of us have a sin nature that fights against this. And you know, step 9 is a very difficult step. It really is. And when I did it numerous times, and I'm still making an amend. And I'll give you an example because I make an amend to society still. Because when I was out there like a wild man, I used to throw things out the window. You know, I didn't care. I used to lit. I didn't care. But now, still making the amend, I see a piece of paper on the ground, I pick it up and throw it away. And even though if I didn't put it there, you know what I mean? And if I did something, if I didn't pay for something in a store or whatever, I'll go in that store and I'll buy something in that store, even if it costs a little bit extra money, to make it right with that store. You know what I mean? Just things like that. So show them that your heart is still in the right condition. Because this is something that we do for the rest of our lives.
That's right.
Because we burned a lot of people. You know it and I know it. Even if it wasn't with monetary, it could be what? Thought, word, or deed.
Yeah.
And we need to make it right if we want to become like Jesus. Because he forgave everybody. We got to forgive everybody, and we got to make things right with everybody like the Bible commands us to do. Amen? All right, thank you for letting me share that. We're going to answer